another episode of A Podcast. Your host, Stephen Maxted. And today we have Alex Jordan, the founder of LendIt, joining us today from out in Saskatchewan. And we connected, I think, just via like socials. I'd seen some of the stuff that you're doing out there, Alex, and I was able to track you down. I thought it was such a cool thing that you're creating out your way, and the effect that I think it's going to have on communities and individuals, maybe even like starting and running businesses today. But I won't spoil it too much. Let's pass it over to you, and Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you're doing.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Stephen, for having me. Yeah, it's pretty wild that we connected and had a few connections there, but the world is very small, as we figured out.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, my name is Alex. I started this app. Well, really, I kind of just started everything in the last 3 years. I just had a birthday. I'm 32 now. I'm getting up there. So I am a mom of 2 kids. I currently work very part-time in my social work position in a hospital, but entrepreneurship has always just spoke to me, and that has always been in the back of my head. So life kind of always steered me to get to that. So I had my hands in a couple things, and then it landed me to this project right now.
That's awesome. And I think that's great that you mentioned that too. It's like you're not just doing one thing here. And I think it's a very common, we'll call it character trait of a lot of entrepreneurs that, do share stories on here as they're juggling a few things. And it just seems like if you want to get something done, you ask the busiest person you know, ultimately. And I'm sure your life is not a lot different than that case, obviously, with juggling 2 young ones and and work and partner, and then this app here now. And was there one moment that kind of spurred this idea, and maybe even just like walk us through what exactly the app is for the listener here?
Absolutely. So I around 2 years ago, I started doing a lot of courses online just with marketing and digital marketing, and just really trying to educate myself on the business world. I've always been super interested in it. And something that really spoke to me in one of my courses was like, if you are giving a solution to somebody, they will pay for it. You have to fix that solution for them. And that one line just stuck with me. And I just pondered back and forth with Airbnb and different apps like that out there. I thought, well, geez, there's nothing really for like specific items, which is a gap, because we have the house, we have Lyft with the cars, we have different things like that. But what about all the other stuff just sitting around? And it was that moment where I seen my husband's ice fishing shack and auger and $2,000 worth of gear sitting in the garage. And I thought, like, I'm from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, so we're surrounded by the lakes. That's something we do in the winter. You know, you go ice fishing, you try to, at least with all the busy lives and what everybody's up to. So you often see people like wanting to borrow a shack, things like that. And I just thought, well, geez, what if there was a hub where we could do this and really just help communities out and help individuals out? And like, inflation right now is pretty wild. So I thought, well, what a good time to enter the market with this. People are looking at ways to save any way they can. And you hear that even from like your friends and your family right now. Times are tough. They're cutting back on things that they normally wouldn't have 2, 3, 4 years ago. It's not like when my husband bought the ice fishing shack, he just walked into Cabela's one day and was like, yeah, I want this, I'm going to get it. Life's different now. So that, those thoughts of, I probably shouldn't, are there for a lot of people, I feel like, in our country right now, in our province. So that's where the idea sparked. And what the app is, essentially, it's a hub where you can rent, lend, book, different things like that. I ran with the idea, just thought, hey, this is a problem a lot of us are feeling. I'm just going to do it. So I hired a developer to develop the app for me. I had an idea. I knew exactly kind of how I wanted it to look, similar to like that Kijiji style where you could go into different categories. So I worked with my developer for, gosh, 6 to 7 months to get this thing up and running, and it hit the market in June of 2024. And I've been monitoring what's kind of the hit categories, what people are really sought after, what they're comfortable lending out, because not everybody is. And I've
Yep.
really kind of gathered a lot of research for my next couple steps with the app.
Awesome. And what that totally relates easy to home here on the ice fishing side, but I totally get why you did of like maybe not everyone's in with that. Like Manitoba is very heavy and Northwest Ontario from our end of the world here, very common thing. Like sledding, ice fishing, very common weekend or weekday activity
Yeah.
for. But so that's one area I guess of business, and I can totally see the potential here for other avenues because you're right, like stuff's expensive, or if you're traveling. I mean, one of the probably biggest areas that you're looking at is also like tourist related, because if you're not probably going to bring like the kayak, the bike, or ice fishing, like if you do want to do that somewhere else, like you probably didn't have the ability to really access that easily, besides buying it and bringing it with you, and then you have all the stuff and maybe you don't need more stuff. I don't think a lot of us need more stuff. Right?
And
So
you nailed that. Like with that's kind of how I envision this too with travel. Just
yes.
because like when you're traveling, you have such limited space on the plane, and where you travel to, there's specific things that you want to do while you're there, but you, like you said, you can't pack your kayak or different things like that. And
Yes.
something I found interesting for myself is I traveled with a 5-month-old to BC even, and I couldn't pack his playpen. I couldn't pack like a lot of essential big items that I needed. Um, and that was so when I got out there to my in-laws, I just was like, well, I where do you even go? And they asked a couple local friends, and I was able to gather a couple things, but they didn't have the answer for me either. So I often relate it back to that for my travel experience, and uh, what we might do here in Saskatchewan and Manitoba is so different than, let's say, the coast, east or west. Different niches, different interests. So
Yep. Yeah. Different areas are going to have probably different demographics for items that they need. Whether it be maybe fishing on the prairies here or snowboarding or skiing in the mountains, outdoor activity. I don't know if that's or stuff. Maybe I should ask, what are the categories of things that you can rent on there or lend, or what's the idea there?
yeah, so right now we have quite a bit up there. We have like the entertainment. So a lot of people with feedback that I've heard was, oh, we didn't want to go out and purchase a bunch of entertainment equipment to start our business. We were always looking to rent, and we couldn't find that. So I thought, well, geez, people must have this type of equipment that is sitting around that they could make money off of. So entertainment's a big one. Under that category, you would have like your DJs or like sounds and different things. As well as the sporting goods, like that brings me to the kayak and the canoes, the everything like that.
Yep.
You also have categories that can range from the baby items. Why I wanted that one in was because of my own experience with traveling. And the one category that really took off this summer was the wedding category, wedding
Makes sense.
items. So that one has been kind of my little bit of back pocket focus because the numbers were there, and it obviously was a problem for people that was they were able to solve going on the app.
Well, that one makes a lot of sense, even from the point of, we're probably using it one day, 2 days, I don't know, maybe over a weekend. You're purchasing all this stuff or, renting it from somewhere already, or trying to figure out a way to, save. And maybe on the other end, someone's trying to, make a buck off their other wedding stuff that they had, or maybe they have a bunch of it. So yeah, it's definitely something you probably don't need to purchase. I've seen that happen many times, and people have weddings and events, and they'll custom build some stuff, which is great. I always laugh at
Yes.
those. And it's like a fire sale right after the wedding. It's like, oh, by the way, we have all this stuff that we use, but there's really no reason why. I mean, someone else is going to use it anyways when they purchase it, so maybe it's just easier to rent. You don't have to commit to all this building and stuff from that end of things. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. And like with the wedding category too, it's I've reached out to some local established businesses within my community that would like to onboard as well. So you have that security and that connection already to know these name brand stores that do this, but don't necessarily have an online platform. Um, that users are like, they're looking for that, like you see lots of people are busy from that 9 to 5, they're at work, they don't have time to be calling different things to try to find them. So when they're home in the evening scrolling their phone and actually have the time, they want to be able to see what's available to them. And I think that's a huge pain point that a lot of the entertainment business from customer research they've said is they have to go to so many different avenues to find different things. And normally it's not online. They have to call during business hours. They have to leave a voicemail, an email, and just hope to hear something back.
Right. So kind of an outdated industry perhaps on that, mentioned to some degree. And maybe they haven't had to adapt before, but this seems like a great option, for them to start to look elsewhere. So that sounds really awesome.
Yeah, and that for local wedding stuff, I have everything onboarded from venues to some upcoming caterers that want that, like you said, that outdated paper pen style, email style is just like, it's not rolling with the current times, which it works, but there's something that works better. And to be able to take that relief off the vendor as well, to not have to take so many phone calls a day, not to have to take so many emails a day, to have it all somewhere simplified for them will just save time and money as well.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Where is the app available for folks to use or start to explore it? Is it only in Canada, or is it specific to your area? Or I'll let you answer. Me guessing.
Yeah. It's on both Android and Apple, just on the stores there. It's free to download. It's available under the name LendIt, !T. It's Canadian and American. It's available in both, but my focus right now is just starting small and then expanding as the app grows. So my biggest support is right here in Saskatchewan, where I'm from, which has been so amazing. Just that we're not your typical like Toronto, Vancouver, but the people are supportive. They're using it. They're trying it. So I'm in no doubt that usually Saskatchewan, we're a couple months to a couple years behind what the West Coast is doing. So usually people don't onboard as quick as the folks out there. So it's been really refreshing to see that people are already trusting it, using it, wanting it. So it's been nice.
That's really cool. You get to grow that, we'll say, like close to home, right?
Yeah.
In your backyard. Is your family originally from Saskatchewan as well? Like born and raised that way?
Awesome. Yeah, born and raised here. Well, actually, my mom's from Minnesota, right down in the States, and my dad had played some college years there, but I have always lived right here in Saskatchewan, and big in the hockey community. There's not a whole lot to do here, but when you can pick up some of those winter sports, it makes it a little bit more bearable to live here. And the lakes, right? Like Manitoba is similar. Like there's nothing that beats. You can drive pretty well any city in Saskatchewan. You have a nice lake close by.
Absolutely. No, that's always actually kind of been a surprise from a little bit of time I've spent out there is how many lakes there were. I think for so long, we'll say the marketing for Saskatchewan was like flat
Yeah.
and grass. And that's actually not the case at all. There's quite a few hills and there's also a ton of lakes. So no, that's really fantastic to hear about the availability of the app, both across Canada. And did you say, is it available in the States as well? Or will it be in
Yes,
the future?
it
Okay.
is right now. Like it's not like it can't be downloaded or looked through or used. But my focus just isn't the marketing and just wanting to grow it there isn't there yet. I'm trying to get a handle on things, try to grow it locally, and then as my
Yeah.
team expands, hopefully we can expand it even further geographically. And with the lakes, it's interesting too because like tubes, floaties, things like that, paddle boards, like the kayaks,
Cool.
people are using Marketplace like crazy in my area to try, and like
Yeah.
you're not going out to the store anymore and just buying a kayak because you want it. Like you're like, oh, times are tough. I better hold off. And space is a big thing too. Some of these products
Yes.
that you're going out and buying, I'm finding for these, I don't know if we're similar in age or not, but I'm finding like these
Yeah.
future generations as well as us, really the millennials are transitioning from, like, you go into your grandma or grandpa's old place, right? And they hung on to everything. And those older
Yes.
generations, they had such a hard time of letting go. And it's just clutter and chaos. But I'm finding that people are more mindful of the environment nowadays. They're wanting to consume less, um,
Yeah.
put their money in different spots, not just in things sitting around anymore. So I think there's a huge shift, and the market's there for it. And it's, you can, you look at Marketplace right now, even, and it's booming because people are looking for a hub where they can do rental exchanges.
Yeah.
Marketplace is telling us that it was designed for purchases back and forth, but you can just see it right on the platform. And a lot of people are skeptical to wanting to use it because of some of the risks with that. So that was kind of another inspiration, behind the app is Marketplace is telling me something. It's used by how many users here, and people are now going, oh, for rent. And I'm like, okay, like there's a need for this.
I was actually just going to say I wrote it down quick so I didn't forget. But last night I got scrolling on my own marketplace, and
Yeah.
there was talking here. I'm like, yeah, there was actually like some like campers for rent, some ice fishing shacks ahead of time. They're like, hey, like rent and pull it out, or they have them available on certain spots on like hopefully they're good for the fish. And I forget what else I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got doom scrolling for a minute, like going through, and there was something else too and I hadn't seen that as much in the past. I don't think locally here, anyways. For
Mhm.
us, maybe kind of taken off or being more of a thing, or just hadn't been on it as much in the summer. But it's definitely interesting to hear you, chat about that. Totally makes sense to me. I think it makes a ton of sense for other people too about not having as many things. That is so relatable, I think, to probably anyone and everyone who's
Yeah.
had to downsize a grandparent or family member, or is not about holding on to as many things or attempting not to. Anyways, I'd say I'm in the attempting category.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
realizing that you don't need as many things. I think I would totally use an app like this for that. And is it on that note, okay, so we kind of have like marketplace feel, and then we
Mhm.
also have like probably other like businesses. Are businesses able to like sign up, and individuals? Is that kind of how this would work? Or maybe walk us
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah. So originally I thought like, okay, let's just do strictly peer to peer. There's enough there. And then I thought, well, instead of having businesses as a competition, seeing them more as like your ally and a platform to grow businesses themselves. Because
Right.
a lot, like, they have the products, a lot of these businesses that may be already into the rental or have potential to be in the rental, they a lot of them don't have that online platform and are outdated, like you said previously. Like a lot of companies are still in that, where all these new generations are coming on and want it right there, right on their phones. So if I thought, well, why eliminate possibility of partnerships? Let's bring businesses and peer-to-peer and not have it like just one or the other. So peer-to-peer is available to your comfortability as well as businesses. You see a lot of businesses that are willing to onboard and excited because they've said, oh, we've never really been offered an online solution, so we never have done it. So we never went out looking for it. Or we just didn't think we needed it, but maybe we do. And like it would be not just our individuals feeling the pressures of inflation and just of in general right now, it's our local businesses too. So if I could help them in any way as well, then I'm happy. Like I really just want to see it help community members, help businesses, help individuals, just kind of, So to answer that question, yes, both are available, business and peer-to-peer. And I'm hoping to onboard just more and more businesses to see the comfortability and the trust process, the secureness of it, and then more peer-to-peer feeling more comfortable.
Absolutely. No, you did a great job walking us through that journey. And I mean, I'm sure you'll learn lots, along the way as folks are added on and they get more comfortable using it. But I think it is so like modern day. Like I even got to the point yesterday doing some work at night, and real life example of having just something like at your fingertips almost was ordered my dog this like giant bone. He's still currently while we're like recording the podcast in the other room here, but it's like it just made it so easy. Like, it was a little bit like blizzardy here, and like it's a new function of like pet stuff. So random that I'm mentioning this, but and it's on.
No, it makes total sense.
I'm like, I don't want to go out. I got to do some work. He's kind of bugging me. I know that it's cold out. We're doing like one walk, not like our regular two that he's still like adjusting. We had a really favorable fall here, and then just it's there, and it's not a huge it's an additional cost, but it's a huge convenience thing. And I think that's where this would totally be a fit for both like companies who are a little like unmodernized, and then for folks wanting to just have access to stuff a little bit easier. And I don't even think twice about some of those things anymore. And it's, I don't know, it's more the time. We're probably more cognizant of that, I think, and millennial mindset, we'll say. Otherwise, some people are like, I feel like my grandmother or grand, specific shout out, my mom's mom. She's like, I feel like she would have driven across town to get something on sale, which was like very, dirty 30s mindset, which made her an incredible saver for many like positive things, monetary wise, but it's kind of insane. Like it wouldn't make sense. Like to the modern day mind, it would be like very opposite. Maybe we're going through that almost like adjustment now, but it'll be more through the use of technologies like this to accomplish that same savings mindset. Because everything has a cycle, always repeats itself in some way. So
I wouldn't have even made that connection, but that makes so much sense. Like and our economy is similar. Like like they say some say we're full on in a recession, things like that. So you're right. Like people did go to all means, and they were crazy savers. And I feel like, but they probably didn't have that option back then, right? So this is just the modern day option of being able to save and not have to go to the store to get that deal, because you're only going to use it once or twice. But in the long run, that your intentions are always good with your kayak or your paddleboard. I'm saying this out of experience with my kayak. I don't know if I've put it in the lake as many times to get my money's worth. You know what I mean? Like, could I have actually rented a kayak for the 5 or 6 times I actually wanted to go out, opposed to just keeping it in my lawn at the lake and just hoping it doesn't get stolen because it's just sitting there.
Totally. No, that's absolutely right. I think that makes a ton of sense from, yeah, a few different experiences in life, and having kayaks and knowing that they don't like go out. Like I think I barely used them this year. I got a few here in the East Coast, some friends and stuff, but they're just kind of back burner. Yeah, haven't really been used a whole lot. Canoe maybe a couple of times. Just such a like if it's not at the lake, for example, if it's in town for me here, and then you're dragging out to a lake or other things, it's like, yeah, kind of inconvenient, and not everyone has the vehicle to
Mm-hmm.
move around and stuff. So if there's an added benefit of someone being really close to that lake or whatever, then you can just get them from that person, hopefully.
Yeah.
In theory, logistics also makes sense for the pickup or drop off, whatever that looks like. And yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, or will that ever be a part of the business? Or are you going to like deliver stuff with this thing at all? Or
I have thought I haven't quite gotten that far. I have a lot of ideas that are on the forefront here. I'm in a tech program currently right now through in Regina, Cultivator by Connexus, and they have challenged me to think incredibly much about the future of the app. So I'm very much thinking futuristic, and it's so excited for 2025 because there will be a new spin to the app 100%, and I'm so excited to kind of jump on board and get at it.
no, that makes a lot of sense. And how is that program, by the way? I am a little semi-familiar with it. I've witnessed it. I think I actually follow their account. There's something coming up for this soon. Something on the 11th. Is that right?
Yes, that's
Was
right.
earlier on, so
And I'm gonna be there.
nice.
So take a peek at their social media. I'm competing for the grand prize with a bunch of judges there. So it's been an 8-week program, intense homework, interviews, uh, guidance, mentorship, in-house people that are just there to want to see you succeed, and they really just want to make you be the best business operator that you can be. And I can't thank this program enough because it just grew me to a whole new level of understanding
Yeah.
that it's your customer is your number one. And
Yeah.
the amount of doors it's opened as well, and it's all about networking and the program growing businesses, because they say, like, I forget what they told me, it is so high, 9 it's almost, I think it's 95% of startups fail, and they want to bridge that gap. And it's a free program, you apply to get in, and they want to see startups thrive, grow, scale them. And that's exactly what I felt like I got from it.
And how long is this program that you did doing?
I'm in the start, so it's just for the very start of your company. This one is 8 weeks, and then we wrap up December 11th in Regina at the Connexus building with vendors. We pitch our idea to a panel of judges, how well we know our product, the market.
Cool.
And yeah, I think there's about 7 of us startups that are all competing, and we'll hopefully you'll be able to see the social media updates on it.
Well, I
And
guess
see me out there.
yeah, that's super exciting, and that's really neat. And this cultivator program, that's specific to like you in Saskatchewan, is that right?
They
Um,
they'd like it to keep it local to Saskatchewan, but you can apply from wherever. The thing is you do have to have that commitment of being able to go to Regina for some in person. So, but they made it flexible where you can do your work while doing that. So really, I've been in Regina face to face with the group only 3 times. and then everything else has been through Zoom. Homework, we have steady with accountability chats, different things like that. So it's been very manageable to do while you're still working and juggling all things of life. As well as I do think it is, I can't remember if they said they take out of province people. I know I was the only one from Prince Albert, and everybody was right there from Regina. So
Very cool.
I think it is, they do lean on a lot to local.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. I just, yeah, wasn't even sure if I knew that. Even though I do follow the page and stuff, I'm just like, wait, is this only in Sask, or is this yeah, spread across the prairies kind of thing, or something? It sounds like a fantastic program. And so they really help, I mean, ultimately cultivate the words that they're in the program there to become hopefully down a path of more successful businesses that are thriving. How often is this if we want to dive down this path a little bit, how often does the program run with them? Is it quarterly, or is it once a year?
I
Do we know?
think it's I think it's quarterly to, I believe it's quarterly, but they're introducing a new program in spring of 2025. They had mentioned where it's like the next step after start. And then they have grow and scale. So it's really, as your business grows through, you can apply for the programs to fit your business. So, which I didn't know about this. This new program's coming, which I'm going to learn a little bit more about on the exit interview, and they provide different requirements for each program. So this one, since I just started and it was just fresh on the market, it was a good fit for me. And then once your company is making more money and you can work on it full time, you're eligible to go into some of those other programs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a throwback question for us here next.
Yeah.
Around what other things have you done in your entrepreneurial journey? Normally, folks have had other experiences, or maybe they're a kid, they had a side hustle or something else going on. What's been the itch along the journey, or different experiences that you've had where you've kind of been entrepreneurial in a sense?
So I was big on the multi-level marketing of everything. I sold oh I
That's cool.
sold Arbonne, I sold Epicure, I sold Saint makeup. I've tried it all, like
Yeah.
because I love people and I love delivering something to make them, to just add to their life. So I've done it all in those cases, but there was nothing that really stuck out in my life that I was super passionate about to run for until this kind of idea came. And it's funny because a couple of girlfriends, when I told them about this app, they were like, "Oh my God, Alex, like this is so you. Like you don't like to hang on to anything for more than you have to. You want to get rid of it. You want, like, they're like, this is just so you." And you have to get behind something that you're super passionate about, or else like it just
Yes.
won't it just won't go anywhere. And I'm so passionate about like wastefulness and saving and all of that it's just all came together. And surprisingly, the wedding category,
Yeah.
I it's it's a passion of mine because I hated planning a wedding so much that it's now like I got to look at this from a different angle. Like I decided this was too overwhelming. I'm going to Mexico. So we got married in Mexico. But it's like
Nice.
why, like why was that process so hard? And like why can't people find things more easier? So
Totally.
that's kind of that itch I'm going after of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wedding category. Was it's on it's There's something there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so a few things have kind of like compiled over the years, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, this is the thing, this is what we're going for, and that's really fantastic. Seems like you're on a very good path here. Alex, are there so after the cultivator, if I'm saying that
Mhm.
right, program, are there other, I guess, maybe follow-up programs from that, or are there trade shows? Will you be going to trade shows in the new year and stuff like that? I don't even know That makes sense for your business. But any upcoming dates where people might see you, I guess, ultimately?
Yes, so I want to get through Cultivator, see where that kind of leads me. I'm excited for that to wrap up, and then get a little bit more information on the next program that they will offer in 2025. Because I had so much success with this first program. And then trade shows, I'm going to a wedding trade show in January. So it's my first trade show. It's right here in Saskatchewan. It's all the northern type of things. And I'm hoping to really get businesses onboarded and just make it easier for brides to be able to find some of the stuff they're looking for. So yes, trade shows, I am going to be on the hunt to attend a couple more, as well as Cultivator, as well as maybe branching out to get some business partners growing, because I am one person and I'd like to see this thing get a little bit bigger. So
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what's to come.
Cool. That sounds very exciting. And what's the best way if someone's hearing this, they're interested in chatting with you about their business or like follow the journey and stuff? What are the best avenues to go about that?
LendIt's on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn under Alexandra Jordan, as well as, I think that's how you found me, was LinkedIn.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I'm on there. Oh, that would make sense. LinkedIn or Instagram for sure. I think it was LinkedIn though. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm on there. I've had lots of people reach out through there. Yeah, and just the social media pages are just easy, quick access, and my email's right there posted through the social media platforms there.
Awesome. And we'll have those links. If you're panicking, write that down right now. We'll have it as well. As well as a website as well through. And is it spelled the same way as it looks on the screen right now for that?
LendIt with an I, LendIt App. Yeah. So I'll give you that information. I wanted LendIt with an I, but Apple only lets one user have specific names, so we had to get a little creative with what name we picked.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, no, that's fantastic. I think this has been great for insight. Is there anything else you'd like to pass along to the listener other than to download the app, check, use it immediately? Any closing comments from your end, Alex, or anything that you want to throw in the mix for the episode that we maybe missed or I missed?
I think you've touched on a lot. Following the social media pages for some big changes coming in 2025, I think it will be the biggest target here with Cultivator wrapping up, just coming to life with some of my new ideas. So follow along, download. It's free to download, browse, get it going in your community, kind of however you think it would benefit. So yeah, that is it.
Awesome. That's been fantastic to have you on today, Alex. Thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule on top of running the company and family and job in the mix of all this. So really appreciate you making time to be on with us today.
Well, I appreciate you having me, Stephen. That was awesome.
Awesome. Okay, we'll chat soon.
Okay.